So if there's one thing that really worries me to the point of obsession, it's losing my work. So like when I struggle to step away from the computer without pushing my code up to the server, especially if I'm going to go somewhere with my laptop or something. I'm petrified that I'm going to drop my laptop in a puddle. There's one thing that I've never really been able to back up, and that's been my actual development environment. Until just recently, I have spent a heap of work, a heap of time putting together an Ansible script to be able to spin up an entire development environment for me in exactly the way that I want it. And that's mainly because I've just got my brand new XPS 13 that I want to replace my old XPS 13 with. And I would really like to now open it up and run this Ansible script on it and see if I get a whole new development environment. And I wanted to record it because if it works first time, I'm going to be pretty pleased. I've got instructions here, and all I'm going to do is basically just walk through these. This is step 1, 2, and 3 here. So first I have to install HTTP, and that's so that I can get my make file, which has got my install, and then I just need to do make install, and everything should just work. Copy and pasta. There we go. So it's just installing HTTP now, and then once I've done that, I'm going to grab the make file. Okay, so now I just need to copy pasta the script to pull down my make file. I'm going to pull that down in my home directory. Okay, so now I've got GNU make. I might be able to do make install. Hey, alright. So what this is going to be doing is going to then install Ansible and a couple of other packages. You may be wondering why I'm not just using like OBS or something like that to record this and recording a crappy version on my phone. Well, it's because I couldn't be bothered setting up a system where I'd have, because I need like a second system. I don't have OBS installed on this machine, right? My Kitt-eh is working on my old laptop right now, or maybe that plastic that's next to the old laptop. Now it's asking for the become password, which is the sudo password, which is going to be used to do all the sudo commands throughout Ansible. Okay, now it's asking me for my GitHub SSH key, well no, not my personal access token, so that it can upload an SSH key to GitHub for me, so that it sets up Git with an SSH key to my GitHub right from the beginning, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I've entered my personal access token. I just haven't hit enter yet. Fingers crossed I entered that correctly because it's really long. But in any case, what it's going to be doing now is it's going to run through and do all my installs. So it sets up a temporary directory to install things in, like to pull down files for the install. We're going to add all the apt repositories that we need in order to be able to do all the apt installs. What are you doing down there? Oh, you're playing with your coworker. Okay, carry on. So it's yeah, it's adding all the apt repositories and stuff. So some of these have already been added, and you can see that it's kind of skipping them. It went through those really quickly. Is he dead? No, don't play with that. That's an expensive box. Don't play with that one. Don't get in it. Oh, okay, you were just tricking him. Don't you look like you're not? No, I can see what you're doing. Don't do that. Get out of the box. I'll have to send you back to Dell. Kitt-eh, get out of that box. Defeated Kitt-eh is defeated. But in other news, we are pretty close to the end of the list. This is alphabetized, so getting pretty close. And take note as well of these side applications, because hopefully like the whole thing's going to change. which is great. Yeah, okay, so now we've just added the SSH key, so I'm going to get an email soon from GitHub. We're setting up Git, we're setting up Node. Now we're pulling down my dot files from GitHub. We're setting up OMIZSH, symlinking all the files for OMIZSH. You can see we're symlinking my npm-rc, that's also in my dot files. Now we're installing Node LTS. Computer's going to sleep. And that's being done via MVM, which we installed earlier. It just flew by us. We're installing some global packages for npm. We're installing kubectl and kubins and qctx. What else are we doing here? Now we're installing tmux, tmux plugin manager, as well as all the plugins for tmux plugin manager. And now we're downloading the UML. Now we're installing Python and pip and pipx and all the pipx modules that I want to be able to have on this machine. Okay, now we are installing Docker, and well, it looks like Docker may have already been installed. So now we are pulling down Doom Emacs. We are symlinking all the Doom Emacs dot files, generating an Emacs env for Doom Emacs, because that's like one of the things it wants to do for its install. Now we're actually running Doom install. This is taking forever, isn't it? Yes, yes it is. There we go. Okay, we're going back to life. So we've installed JetBrains Mono. We have flushed the font case. You can see we've just changed a whole heap of settings, which, I mean, look at this now. Yeah, and so it all flew towards the end there, but I've changed a whole heap of stuff around being in dark mode, around the dock on the left hand side, which you can see is no longer there. So I flick over it, and then you'll also see that the applications are all different. They've all been set up the way that I want them. And yeah, we've got a UK keyboard layout and a whole heap of other stuff. So yeah, that is that's what you can do with Ansible. And look, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it took probably about half an hour. You can see I've cut it down, but I've now got a working machine and I know that everything is all set up. I mean, you have to log into a few things, you know, I have to open up Brave and log into that and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty badass, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm glad to have been able to share it with you. Maybe I'll ask the Samurai Cat to explain it in a little more detail, but I just wanted to share it because it's really cool.